Hi, Stan with 3D Painting. In the past, I've done some experiments with printing on fabric and making wallets. So this is my first version here. And so this is printed in NinjaFlex over denim. And the way it works is it's in two parts, or three parts like this, all designed in TinkerCAD. So you take this, the bottom ring out here, this is the outside, and these two slots are the inside. Take it and fold it in half, and then fold it in half again so you have a nice billfold. All your cards could go in the slots here, and all your bills fit in the folds here. So ideally, if you could sew or have access to a sewing machine, you could sew these edges and make that nice and neat. This was my first prototype, and I actually used this as my everyday wallet for probably about 4 months. And you can see some of the wear. And a change I made is something I noticed is I was using rubber bands to hold these together, and that kind of smushed these edges here. So for my next revision, this is in semi-flex, which is a lot stiffer, and it actually holds its shape really well once it's been in your pocket a few days. Again, it's just the two parts here, but I also added this brace here in the center to hold it. And again, you fold it in half for that. So I'll include the video where I show you how to print on fabric. Pretty much the only difference is instead of printing directly on the bill plate, you actually offset your C axis by the thickness of the fabric, and you basically turn the fabric into your bill plate. But I'll have a lot more video details in that video. So I'm going to do this, show you how I walk through that in TinkerCAD. So please follow along, and if you would like the instructions, they'll also be included below as a PDF file and digital activity through TeacherPay Teacher. So copy and paste your first one and use it to make a copy above it. I put about 5 millimeters in between because this is going to get folded over, and this is where the bills will be stored. So you want to give that some space. And on this, I think I just started originally with the base like this. So just go ahead and copy and paste that, and then we'll move on to make the other parts of the whole of the wallet. The next step on this, you're going to take your two objects that you just made, and you're going to group them together. And this will serve as a frame to make the next part, which is the inside of the wallet. So for the next part, we're going to copy and paste a frame, and I'm just going to move it about, I think it was about 5 millimeters over. This will give you the hinge you need here in this space here. And for the cards, what I did is I actually measured a box that was 55 by 86 millimeters, which is about the size of a credit card or an ID card. And you're going to use that to make the holes for the next part. So for the second shape, which is green here, I'm going to want to put two box shapes to hold my cards and two thumb slots. And those are just so I could easily get to those. So for this, the box is 55 by 86 millimeters, and I made it thick enough to go all the way through. So even though it's going through all the way through here, remember that when you print this, you're going to print this on top of fabric. So this will essentially be a frame around a fabric bottom. And for the cylinders, these are going straight through. They're just standard 20 millimeter cylinders. And I just have it going through, and you have to imagine there'll be a base here. So after you add the two holes for your cards and add some slots for your thumb, what I also did is I just took one of these cylinders and I made it into an oval. And I just used this to cut it in half because this part's going to be on the inside, so it needs to be fairly flexible. Or this is going to be all fabric here, because if you put anything in the center there, it's going to be very rigid, which you don't need. So just centering that and getting this back to green. So I'm just using a cylinder here to completely cut this in half. You could make other designs with that, but for this, it was easier just to cut it in half. So using all these three shapes, I could actually combine them, and so when I group them, I can see that it gives me the slots for the cards, and then group those for my thumb holes. And this way I could have, this part is going to be on the inside, and this will be on the outside of the shape, so I'll regroup that. And I'll show you what to do, why I put this reinforcement here. Now for our next step, we'll have to do some reinforcement. My first version of this wallet actually had a slight fail to it. So you can see here how this kind of bowed in. As I put rubber bands and pressure and had this in my pocket, the sides kind of smushed in. And so it went from being nice and square to being a little warped in the center. So you can see here on the wallet how it is in two parts. And this is the outside, this is the inside, and it folds together with your cards going in here and folds up like this. So to correct this on my next version, this is in semi-flex, which is a lot stiffer. This is Ninja Flex here. With semi-flex, it actually does keep a shape pretty well. So for this, you notice that I added a little bit of a reinforcement ridge here. And the reason I did that is just to keep this more open and to help slide it into your pocket. And so I've used this wallet for when I did the first video on this, and I'll link it above. This I had for about 3 or 4 months in my pocket, so this was my first everyday carry printed wallet. This was my second, and I used this for a couple months until I made the other wallet that's printed dual materials. And I tried another experiment where I actually physically drilled some holes and just tried to run a bolt through. I decided against that. If you are good with the sewing machine, you might want to consider sewing the edges here. But for right now, actually, I've done it with just a rubber band to hold it in place. So for the reinforcement, get out of this. This is just a simple, I think it's just a cylinder, I believe. Or no, it's just a square. So I just made an H shape like this. And stuck it in, so this is like 3 separate pieces. Just change the color. And I just put 3 pieces in H shape here. And I tried to get it so it would align with the edges here of the holder. And so that way it provides support on the back side of that there. So now that it's all together, you have your brace in the center. So this will be your outside piece. And here's your inside. Go ahead and group them together because these are going to export out as one file for 3D printing. And I'm just going to change color. So now that you have this, right now if you exported it, it would be flat, or actually here it's actually picked up by about 0.2 of a millimeter. So measure your gene height, or the height of the material you're using, and you will want to offset the printer for that. And I'll include a link to this next video that actually shows you how to do that offset printing. So if you like what you'll see, the lesson plan and activity for this will be available on Teachers Pay Teachers, and I'll include that link below. Also the video for printing on fabric. So if you like what you see, please like, comment, and subscribe.